Right. In this moment, I seek to tap into a spirit of clairvoyance that can guide me in having a clear mind as to relay the message of spirit in correspondence with my client. In this moment, I spark the flame of the red and the black, that primal, alchemical beginning, negrito, and ending, reddening phase of the alchemical principle, but the primal color of the anti-cosmic order of Kimbanda itself as well. We light this flame. Ashe.
Ashe.
Alright. So okay. I'm gonna get my legs crossed. What we're gonna do, we're gonna come into the breath slowly. And I know it's been a while since we've done this together, but just know that what's it called? When we do this breath, even if you're slouching right now as we're speaking, when we get into the breath, back straight up, when you're breathing in, breathe in through your nose and inflate your stomach as you're breathing in. And when you're breathing out, exhale through your nose but deflate your stomach. So always inflating and deflating as we're breathing in and out. We're gonna start out slow and then I'm gonna speed up. But I'm not gonna keep too long of a pace. I'm not gonna keep this slow. But before we get into it, just take a second to let that come in.
Ooh, yeah, it's strong.
Oh yeah.
Oof.
Oh yeah. Okay, definitely opened up right now. I'm gonna do one more crystal and then we can get right into it. Whew. Okay. So, while you're breathing, direct your focus towards the circle. This circle being the environment for the, reading itself. But alright. So you could take those one by one and put your energy on them, and we'll go into the reading from there.
Should I keep them in the same one?
No. Just pick them up now. I don't need that like that because I'm about to shake them up and toss them. But no. Pick them up all at once. I know I said one by one, but like, yeah, you could just get them all in your hand.
Okay. They're beautiful stones.
Thanks. Steph Brown, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, I'm gonna just take a second to look at this. I'm looking at it from my perspective, from bottom to top, and
Is it okay if that one's not in the...
No, yeah, that's perfectly fine. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna have to use a little bit of my flashlight, only because I wanna see certain colors. Yeah, that's where this one's at. Okay. So, I'll say this. Do you remember how I deliver these readings? Or,
Not sure.
okay, I'm gonna go into it. Let me give a, I guess, brief walkthrough. So when you're receiving a lithomancy reading, 16 stones in total. Each stone has its own characteristic, and for lack of better words, based upon the shapes and what's it called, the way certain stones will point at each other will indicate how I deliver the reading. The reason why I pitch the stones into a circle is because that circle represents the environment. Certain stones that fall within the environment, I read. Stones that fall outside of the environment, I don't read, unless they make a connection with the stone within the environment. In this case, you could see that it does. The reason why I say it does is because each stone has a pointer. So you'll see that certain stones make certain connections. For just future's sake, you'll see me kind of go into this. You have the stone of the future right here. Has a pointer. One pointer is looking nowhere. You see it clear as day. There's not even a line of stones it's pointing at. This other pointer seemingly somewhat points at this stone over here, but it's kind of missing it by a little bit. This pointer,
That's not good.
it's looking nowhere as well. So literally the stone of the future, I'm telling you right now, without like really starting off, because this is not the stone I usually start off with, but just even going into it right now, your future doesn't point clearly to any particular other stone within your environment. But this is not even the stone that represents you. It's just a part of the collective of your energy. The stone that represents you, and this is my starting point, is the stone of chaos. And of course, the stone of chaos is right here. And it has 3 pointers. One looks nowhere. The other one looks all the way up to the stone of air. Okay, the stone of air, as we can see, has 3 pointers itself. One of them looks literally right back at the stone of chaos. One of them looks nowhere. The other of which points towards the stone of death. And it seemingly it makes the points at death and just goes straight. Doesn't really touch on anything else. Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Yes.
Okay. So
it's kind of disturbing, but I interpret this as kind of Lucifer because the air. East, you know.
So, I'm not even going to tell you that that's a wrong interpretation because we know symbolism through different forms of thought being in the occult. So yes, air, Lucifer, but air also represents within Let the Man See readings, it represents, I mean, literally clear as day, it represents thoughts. As it stands, the stone of chaos is the person receiving the reading, but the reason why we call it the stone of chaos is because it's looking at 15 other stones.
Yeah.
You know, and they're all jumbled upon an environment that's kind of wild and chaotic, and you got to piece together like what the hell does all of this mean. So pretty much kind of going into it, whenever you see a stone being pointed at by the stone of chaos, yes, the stone of chaos is the starting point and it does represent the person getting the reading, but the stone that it will be outright pointing at out of the 3 pointers is a representation of what is chaotic presently. So your mental is chaotic, you know, and not only that, I mean, your mental is unclear. I mean, I'm giving you a reading, right? But it's lodged up in death. Death has 3 pointers. I'm gonna go into what each characteristic means as well as I keep going. Has 3 pointers. One looks nowhere. The other of which looks down at the stone of earth. This is the stone of earth. And then it makes a straight line through the stone of earth and literally touches upon the stone of sorrow and the stone of joy. And to be honest with you, I'm going to say because of all of these stones, if I go into the stone of the earth, its pointer right here looks at the stone. Excuse me, I'm wheezing a lot. It looks at the stone of the past. So, you know, I'm just going to say that it's in this line. So we have a line pointed at, you saw where we started, chaos. One pointing nowhere, one pointing up towards air, thought, you know, ideas, for lack of better words. It points toward, it looks right back at chaos, then it looks over to death. Death points towards the stone of the present outside of the environment. Okay? As if your present moment is actually trying to run away from the energy that's within its environment, which, to be honest with you, I see this as somewhat of a good thing. You know, if your present if in your present environment, in your mental framework, your present environment is right, the stone of the earth. It's your foundation, it's your material, it's the things of value that you have around you. It's Baltimore. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's dying mentally, and now we see it's saying it's dying physically. The foundation is going to die, and your present reality that has everything to do with your present day reality, just what we've learned, the knowledge we've gained, it's running away from the foundation that we don't want. It's running away from the sorrow. This is a stone of sorrow. Sorrow really sorrow represents, the stone of sorrow represents itself, but it also represents something similar to death. Both of these actually have the same interpretation. They represent isolation, despair, for lack of better words. So the death of sorrow, the death of despair, but this is isolation and despair as well. Death to the foundation of that death and sorrow from your past. Your present is getting away from it because it's outside of the environment. Yes, death is pointing at it and seemingly trying to draw it in, but it's out. You know, it's out. You know, that dying has everything to do with right here. What I would say is the stone of joy right here. If I was to say anything, I would even go as far as to say the death of unjoy. You know, because this is the death of joy, but I know you're not seeing joy here.
No.
And so it's like, that's just how I'm going to interpret it.
Yeah.
That's how I'm viewing it. That's how I'm seeing it now. This is the thing going into it. Even though the stone of sorrow isn't pointing anywhere, what we can see is death points at the earth. Earth has 3 pointers, one of which looks nowhere, the other of which points and looks down at this line right here between the past, sorrow, and joy. But then its other pointer looks right here towards the stone of the future. Okay?
Yep.
The death of your future, I'm just going to go here, and the death of your future sorrow in your mind about this particular present foundation and present reality. Okay? Now, mind you, within lithomancy, when stones are, for lack of better words, clustered together, you can kind of see that this middle area, everything's kind of close and clustered. Pretty much, these are all forces like that are kind of meshed and glued together. And within this, what I see is, going back to the stone of chaos when we first started, I never touched upon this, but going in a straight line, we see the stone of chaos point towards the stone of the moon. And then the stone of the moon has 3 pointers. One that seemingly kind of looks up towards air again. Another one that looks down, looks nowhere. But then the other one that touches and points towards sorrow.
Yep.
Now, the moon is everything to do with those things that, secrets, skeletons in our closet. They deal with the subconscious, things that we'd rather not deal with. They deal with the lowest pit that we could come into contact with. It represents the primal darkness, and that primal darkness, that unconscious, subconscious, is looking at sorrow. So pretty much in this case, it's kind of this. It's kind of this notion again that your present environment is your biggest influence, materially, right?
Yep.
It's your biggest hindrance for joy. It's your biggest hindrance for your future.
Yep.
Okay? It's your biggest influence for initiation. The stone of the male is the stone of initiation. It's the stone of actually taking force and putting it into action. And it's, I would say, all of these stones are, oh my goodness, my bad. All of these stones are in this cluster. And that's the point that I'm making.
Yeah.
The point that I'm making is that
Baltimore's dragging me down.
Yeah, I'll give it to you one hell of a bit. I felt like even over these last 3 months, 3.5 now that I've been here. It's been hindering my growth and
Mm-hmm.
my ability to tap into. There was a point at which this place was good for my energy.
Yeah.
It tapped me into another side of darkness.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that I felt to see darkness in a way
Yes.
that I had not seen before. You
Yep.
know, I hate to talk about this city like this, but this is what is here. I've driven around this city 3 o'clock in the morning and seen a junkie with a needle hanging out their arm, and they're tripping. And you know, a lot of people are just taking this like, oh, they're a drug addict, they're a junkie. I'm looking at it from an occult perspective. They're controlled by a spirit right now. They are not in. They've taken a stimulant that literally has their mind in another dimension.
Yep.
So it's just like when you see, I'll put it like this, as we both know, anything within the light is just a reflection of the dark, of what's going on. It's so when I see a city like this, I'm like, okay, so if I'm in a space in the light that reflects, that's dilapidated, that's burned down, what does that reflection on the spirit realm probably looks like even more hell than I'm witnessing right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. There's something just inherently evil about the city. I mean, you think about Lincoln Park, for example. I mean, I went there and I had all these, I was doing a ghost app thing, and I had all these spirits of Jane Does and John Does talking to me. They said they hadn't been found yet.
Oh, wow.
And you think about, like, there's got to be 100 people buried there still. There's got to be. I mean, look at, like, they've only found, like, I don't know, 90 something bodies so far.
There's so many graveyards in this city.
Yeah.
I've seen large graveyards in other places, but when I come here and witness some of their mass graveyards, I'm like, come on, yo. I understand a lot of people live here, but this seems like a little exaggerated. Yeah. But you know, when you see it, it's like, well, it's not exaggerated. Why are bodies dropping like this here? Yeah. You know, like this is.
Oh, it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. I've never lived in a city this bad.
No,
tell you the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't even think, this is what made me appreciate New Orleans. Before I moved here, I thought New Orleans was dumb.
No, I thought New Orleans was the worst until I came to Baltimore.
Yeah, exactly.
This is another level.
Exactly.
Yeah, so now I look at everything as like,
at least it's not Baltimore.
Exactly. At least, exactly.
Yeah.
So, let me just keep going on. One thing I will say, and I know I put that the way it was because it was pointing at it. It was in that line. The stone of the male, it points towards the stone of the sun, and overall, the stone of the sun is within this cluster. And that's always going to shed a good light on a bad story. And that's literally what's going on right here. The stone of the sun, albeit we see a lot of negativity, it shines bright upon all of this. So the dark night of the moon connecting with sorrow, even having 3 of its pointers, one looking up towards the stone of the male, making a straight line and touching upon the stone of the moon. The other stone of sorrow, pointer of sorrow looking at joy. Then the other pointer of sorrow looking right in between, not really pointing at anything. But overall, we're seeing the stone of the sun. Literally, one of its pointers, it almost touches the moon, but not quite. I would say this is another pointer. Looks seemingly nowhere. But its other pointer looks, I would say, right about here. If you look, that's the pointer right there. It looks right about here, towards the stone of the present. Not the stone of the present, the stone of the past.
Oh, yeah.
And it's, to me, this is almost like a foreshadowing of like, we're going to rectify the past. And we're going to shine a light on the past to get to this point where even though death is trying to connect with the present is outside of the present environment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we overshadowed the past by way of the sun. You know, now this is the other perspective on a lithomancy reading, is that, or two different perspectives, is that from my perspective, looking from bottom to top, the bottom half would be the past, the present would be the middle half, and the top half would be the future. I can also go around lithomancy environment or circle as if it's a clock. So 1 through 12 weeks, or a 3-month cycle going forward. So that's the perspective we're going to go into right now. If we start, what I would say, this is about the bottom half, or rather the past. We have the stone of fire, the stone of the past. We have the stone of the chaos, moon, sorrow, joy. For what it's worth, these are stones in your past. Like I said before, going into your present, we start to overshadow the past with the sun, the stone of the male, initiation, good luck, compounded with initiation. If we even go a little bit further, I want to say that even though I would dictate these stones of chaos, the present, and fire in the past, they're somewhat on that line, as if they're in the past and in the future, like they're 50-50. So that's a good thing, and I'm bringing this up for a reason, because as you're walking, so technically, these 3 stones, technically, although you have 6 stones in your past, 3 of them are on the line going into your present. Okay? And the 3 that you're immediately leaving behind fully is the moon, sorrow, and sorrow in connection with how it dictates and has a say-so on your joy. So you're leaving sorrow, like I said, despair, isolation, and how it affects your joy and how it affects your subconscious mind. You know, how it affects you on a deeper level. Now, going into even though these energies are in the past, they're in the present. We have fire. Fire has everything to do. It's another masculine stone, like the stone of the male. So it represents initiation. It represents magnetism. It represents creativity. You know, it has 3 pointers. One of those pointers, I would say, seemingly point right here at joy. Okay, we have another pointer looking nowhere. And then we have its other pointer. To some extent, I would say it's looking right up at love. Now, this is a great thing, because if we say that, like I said, magnetism, so you're magnetizing your joy into your present, moving it away from its influence, moving it away from sorrow's influence in the past. You're drawing, your fire is drawing in your joy, moving into the present in connection with love. The stone of love has 3 pointers, but it's kind of laying on its side. So one looks up, the other looks down, but it looks down at the stone of the male. So it's looking down at, male energy itself. It's looking down at like the strong will to force a change into creation. It's not necessarily looking to be full of feminine energy. It's not passive at all. It's for lack of better words, it's taking charge. It's taking charge of the sun. The sun is power. It's incorruptibility. It's super. You know, it's the stone of the sun. It shines light on darkness always. So going a little bit further into into the future, or rather into the present, going into the future, we have the stone of, because like I said, we're looking at it now from past, present, future. As we're climbing up and we're leaving these energies behind, we still have somewhat of a connection down there. Remember, I said Earth still has this line.
Yep.
So they're trying to seemingly follow you, but you've left them behind. And as you leave them behind, you look towards the future. But like I said earlier, your future has no grasp on any one particular thing, but it's willing to pull itself into a new foundation in correspondence with the sun and in correspondence with this little stone right here.
Yep.
And that stone, if I haven't touched on it just yet, that is the stone of magic. Okay? And the stone of magic has everything to do with timing. Okay?
Yeah.
Doing things at the perfect timing and being very calculated in how you move. Now, I think this is so interesting. The stone of magic, the stone of perfect timing, is looking at the sun. And it's also, in my mind, it's looking somewhat, my bad. It's looking somewhat at the stone of the future. Okay? As you can see that pointer right there, clear as day. It's looking at the stone of the future.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, if I was to say anything, even if the stone of the future's pointers don't necessarily point at any particular stone, your perfect timing for what you want from the future and what you need from the future will come. So that's too simple. Let me convey it in a different way. Even if you don't know what that perfect timing is, perfect timing in correspondence with the compounding of magic is going to bring you into your future. You know, so it's almost saying that, I hate to be like this because I know you do this enough, you need another, this is what it's saying, a certain spell is what's going to open the sun up fully and open you up to that new foundation. So this is something that you need to do on your own, but nonetheless, it's not to say other people can help you with, but I'm just saying, if nobody was to help you, it's definitely giving you that, like, that green light, like, hey, there's something magical, and it has to do with the sun that's going to open you up to this future that, even though the future is not pulling on any particular energy outright, it'll still come into fruition when you do this magic, and that magic has everything to do with your new foundation going into the future. Remember that stone of the earth. So going up top to the future fully, we have the stone of the female. Just keeping it simple. We have the stone of the female all the way at the top in the future. And it has I'd say about 3 pointers. One looks towards the stone of the present outside of their environment. The other pointer seemingly looks down at death, to be honest with you.
Huh.
You know, it looks like if we go into the stone of the female, the stone of the female represents passivity, literally. It represents balance.
Yep.
It represents emotions, feelings. So, you know, this is kind of to me I mean, it's if I was to interpret this, I would just say, I want to make sure I say the right thing. Make sure I say the right thing. Right. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. The feminine energy is taking the back seat to this present masculine energy that's going to catapult you into the future. And to me, this is almost like an omen to say that for what you gain now in masculine energy will be at the expense of in your future having the death of the feminine energy. You know, and for lack of better words, your present, your stone of your present that's outside of your environment, it's somewhat running away from that as well. So, you know, I'm just gonna say that's how these things dropped. Other than that,
does it have anything to do with the transgender treatment?
I wouldn't say that it doesn't, but I don't want to just put it all on that. I feel like you already know how I feel about that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just keep it simple. You know, when you take I'll put it like this: if you take diabetic medicine from, you know, the pharmaceutical witches and warlocks, you're bound to be on these pills and pharmaceuticals for life. So, you know, I look at things like that. You know, you do these life altering things, or you go through these life altering scenarios because of your own personal diet and life, and now you're on their medicine. It's kind of like taking high blood pressure medicine. They say you can never stop taking it. That's the point. If you take this route, you're putting yourself into a space where you're subject to a person, or rather a force that has you hooked for life.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my point. It's like, if we're trying to tap into our supreme potential, why are we boxing it into to anything that we would have to do that's artificial, that was created? So, you know, to each his own, but
yeah, you
know, I know that you're gonna have hormone problems, and you might not like to fucking hear this shit. And I know that you're gonna go through what's it called, permanent. See, people who are doing these experiments and creating Baphomets on the planet, they're just selling you on the idea of the end goal. They're not telling you of the implications of that which happens afterwards.
Yep.
You know, and you'll see that firsthand. The repercussions of that. Like, you know, if you want to get, you know, if you want to test the waters, and, you know, get an artificial penis and cut your breast off and have to take their, you know, pharmakeia to keep this idea going, just know that if you try to stop, you're a dead man.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just tell you that, you know. So if I went through the process to cut my penis and get it changed into an artificial womb, if I stop their protocols, I'm a dead woman.
Yeah.
So, you know,
yeah.
If your idea is to absolve yourself of your humanity fully and to give yourself a way out, whereas if you stop their protocols, you'll die. If that's your calling, then I mean, at the end of the day, I guess shit, we're all gonna die, right?
Yeah.
And I guess you took a very sodomistic, what's it called? Approach. I don't even want to say sodomistic. That's not even the right word. It's more so like
suicidal.
Yeah, you're. This is a life-altering decision that, I mean, I'm not. I'll put it like this, yo. Like, are you only looking at the pros?
Well,
have you ever looked at the cons?
I am actually. Because I have 2 X chromosomes, there's a good possibility that I'm probably going to go bald, which bothers me.
Okay. What else?
Well, the other thing is they say that you can develop type 2 diabetes on it.
Which can give you blindness.
Yeah.
What else?
Liver damage potentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
All it is to be the so-called weaker sex. I'm not saying males are the weaker sex.
I think females are the weaker though, because females have more health problems than men in many ways.
No, I'm not going to disagree. But keep going. I'm listening.
I actually believe that men are actually and men are the ones that are stronger physically and.
So what do you think of? You think the goddess Sophia truly does take her, what's it called? Her Sophia doesn't have a status without the absolute incorruptibility, the idea of the masculine principle. My understanding of Sophia is that she had a cosmic orgy to give birth to a reflection of the absolute, which would be the masculine principle. She ends up not wanting to go forth with the full-on pregnancy. She aborts a baby. That baby is the demiurge or the son of chaos. Mm-hmm. The son of chaos, however, is still a reflection of its father. It's literally the masculine principle without them necessarily dealing or necessarily showing you the masculine principle. It's a mystery force. Mm-hmm. You come into contact with the goddess and then you come in contact with the sun, but the sun alludes to the masculine principle behind it all. So are you telling me that you don't think that the goddess is the absolute? You think that the male is the absolute? The principle of the male, at least, is the absolute? Is that where you're getting at?
Well, the unknowable, Abraxas. Abraxas is supposedly masculine.
Okay, yeah. Abraxas. I'm being technical when I didn't say Abraxas. But, so, even in Kimbanda Eshumara, they don't necessarily say it's masculine or feminine, but it's masculine from a miles away.
Yeah, I always thought that was Abraxas. It's unknowable.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So, what else do those cons of chopping your breast off, are you seeking to get a fake penis that'll putrefy later? I'm not gonna be nice about this, because I know the cons of this shit. So are you just gonna be?
Well, I definitely want my chest to be removed. I can't stand my breasts.
Okay.
Honestly.
And but you can stand Your vagina?
No, I'm not crazy about it. Tell you the truth, I can't stand periods and all that. But the good news is, if you're on testosterone, they do go away.
Okay. Anything else? Do you think that this... I'll say this. It's my allergies. That's why I keep going in my eyes like that.
Yeah.
Do you think that this will tap you in to your supreme personality?
Not necessarily.
What makes you say that?
Well, it's all outside stuff. It's not really inner that much.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I think your supremeness comes from within. Comes from your spirit, your higher self.
Okay. So, I'll let you deliberate on that. But I did tell you how the connections were. Mm-hmm. Let's go into the yeses and nos, though.
Okay.
And I want you to do the same. Just hold them in your hand. Like, and when you feel like you've directed your intent towards them, just feel free.
Do you want an allergy pill?
You think it's... I'm not wheezing now because of...
I'm thinking it's the cats.
Is it the cats? I've never been allergic to cats, ever.
Well, their hair sometimes makes me kind of wheezy.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to take an energy pill only because I know that shit's going to put me to sleep. And I really don't want to fall asleep right now. Like, if you're talking about like a Benadryl or something, I'm like, nah, that's...
No, I have Zyrtec type of thing.
Hell no, I'm not going to use that. It's too artificial. I don't feel comfortable. So, okay. What's the first yes or no that you'd like to ask?
Is Ishu Cobra my issue?
Okay. It's 4 heads down. That's an absolute no.
Wow.
Have I given that reading this kind of... Have you ever asked me this before? I don't know.
No. This is because that guy in Pennsylvania said that it was.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Interview. Mm-hmm. What's the next question you would like to ask?
God, I wish you could tell me which one it was.
Yeah, I can't even say that. If you had a specific one that you wanted to maybe put up, then by all means I could get a yes and a no lock on that.
Issue at the 7 gates. I think he's called. Yeah.
Okay. Absolute yes. 2 heads up, 2 heads down. That's a balanced yes, but it's an absolute yes nonetheless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I got a statue of him right there. And I've been working with him a lot. So.
Okay. What's your next question?
Should I move to New Orleans?
Four heads down. Absolute no.
Oh, wow.
And just that I add, when you do the difference between an absolute no and a regular no within Obi is to do a regular no dictates that it's a physical block, whereas a absolute no is a spiritual block, and it's an indication that something needs to be cleansed before this question is asked of again from a spiritual level. But if it was just a regular no, which is not, it would just indicate that something needs to be done. Something as far as like getting your money up, saving, just the traditional physical limitations that you would run into, you know, but it's not that. It says if it is in your path, it's an absolute no right now unless something spiritual is done for that gate to be open to you.
Now you mentioned magic here. What ritual do I need to do, you think? Because you said I had to do another ritual, probably, or a spell.
I'll say this: since the stone of the future is pointing, or rather, the stone of magic is pointing towards the stone of the future. Literally, that. The future has everything to do with your purpose. You know, the things that we want to lay hold to and grab to. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where this reading kind of started originally, before we even got to it, like when we were even talking earlier today, where it's like you're kind of wondering what that general direction is, and is this the right move? Is that the right move? I'd say this: you need to do rituals. Just going here. Mm-hmm. We have the stone of magic once again. It's kind of seemingly pointing or in this cluster with earth and the stone of the masculine. So we literally see, just kind of keeping it simple, we have, if you're wondering what magic to do, I would say, if you've been working heavily with the issues, keep working with them. Because they're more so rituals for, even if you don't necessarily know what your future is, the rituals you need to do right now are road openers. And also, how do I say this the right way? It's, you need to do more rituals in correspondence with taking initiation and just like masculine energy. Like it's if you're wondering what magic is saying, that you're not putting more energy up front. Like it's you're, oh my gosh, how do I say this the right way? How do I convey this message right now? Because like I said, like, this is foundation, this is the stone of the male, this is fire. So if anything, it's more spells correlated to, or correlated around, because the sun, another masculine song. So male, fire, sun. It's more so spells with, like I said, like finding purpose, but also just taking more initiative. It's taking more initiation. Like, if anything, I would say power spells. Like, give me more power spells. Like, break me out of procrastination. Give me the strength to be a workhorse for a while. To have a lot of horsepower behind me, to be able to get a thought and immediately be able to act on it immediately. And even if I don't know what my future is, that initiation upon the small things will lead my general direction, because we don't have the general direction, but we definitely have that perfect timing of magic. Has everything to do with more initiation being taken. So more magic being taken, dealing with more masculine spirits, and dealing with rituals in correspondence with another foundation. So, house-based magic, real estate-based magic, things of that nature. That's the best interpretation I can get right now. What is your next question?
Well, I know that Beelzebub has kind of been like on me about goat sacrifice, but I don't really want to engage in that. But I do get him like goat meat.
Okay.
I think they want me. So I work a lot of times with the oh, what is it, the ones that have never been on Earth, like Beelzebub, Lucifer, Nama, you know. She's been reaching out to me too. And then like Lilith, of course, has been reaching out. Samael, Belial, you know. So these guys like that are on the dark side of the tree.
Mm-hmm.
I've been like kind of getting into that too, and that guy in that video, he mentioned that I had to do a serpent sacrifice. But the thing is, like, I've been coming across that, you know, like that book, that Altar of Sacrifice book.
Mm-hmm.
It talks about seven serpents have to be sacrificed to, like, open gates or something in that book. And then I looked at the book of Citra Agra and Liber Zerate. And it mentions the same thing. It's like, you know, you gotta like sacrifice 7 snakes to like open these doors.
Yeah, you do have to get repetitive with certain animals. That's why I do mine. You've seen how I do it on my website: double threat, triple threat, quadruple threat.
Mm-hmm.
So we can compound the blood. I do the double chicken. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, I'm venturing forth into having to do a quadruple threat soon for a client.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be bloody as hell. But yes, I do agree. Yes, to open up gates. You know, yes, it has to do with the animal, but a lot of times it has to do everything with just spilling the adequate amount of blood.
Yeah.
You know, I love when I cut. I hate the pain of cutting myself.
Mm-hmm.
But if I ever accidentally cut myself, I love it because it's just like, okay, I can use this blood for something real quick.
Yeah.
So I might reach over like, oh damn, I cut myself by accident. I might write something down real quick, scratch my blood on there, wash my hand off afterwards.
Yeah.
And it'll just be something on the fly to do. That I'll do. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because that's cool on some fly by night shit. But if you're trying to, you know, really bring something down, it's like...
Well, I'm wondering, like, I keep getting the sense that they want me to sacrifice 7 snakes, and it's like, I love snakes, so I don't know how to go about this. I don't know if I can do it by myself.
I mean, I could definitely assist you, but it's about if you even want to go there. When it comes to these sacrifices, you got to understand, going back to it, the adequate amount of blood to give a sacrifice to everything. Yeah. You know, I think I've told you about this briefly. You've heard me mention this before, though, but it's like you're dealing with Palo Mayombe practitioners who are Luciferian Kimbanda-based practitioners as well. And when I'm dealing with some of these people and I've been in their blood rooms, they got damn near 10 pots, 10 blood pots made out to 10 different entities.
Yeah.
So no one chicken is gonna do.
Oh, yeah.
Nor is one serpent gonna do. That's probably not even sufficient enough for one pot. So yeah, a goat is needed. 7 serpents is needed. You know, a goat and an 8-foot cobra is needed because you know, it's just the adequate amount of blood to bring upon that manifestation. I know when I'm spilling the blood or doing a conjuration with the goat, I'm gonna get at least a gallon of blood.
Oh yeah.
So it's not just for that present altar in the forest that I'm directing towards. I could take some of that blood, I can go back to my space, I can dress candles in blood, write intention upon that candle. There's just so many creative things that I can do with that. And you know,
I'm gonna do a chicken when it gets warmer.
check.
Yeah, so there's a live chicken market in DC.
Okay.
And
didn't know that.
yeah, Well, they sell eggs too and all that, but they have live chickens and they got black ones.
Okay.
Yeah, they got black ones galore.
I said black ones galore.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. I mean, I definitely need a black one.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the skin's black, everything. I'm gonna kill it and then I'm gonna process it at home.
Okay.
But I can't bring, I mean, that shit's too heavy, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna kill it out there, and then I'm gonna bring the blood. I gotta collect the blood in a container, and then I'm gonna feed those, and then put some on the statues.
Okay.
Too. I mean, do you think like I should bring the pots with me, or?
It just depends upon if you want them to be in the space of that particular ritual. Yeah. Either way, it's still gonna get the energy of that ritual processed upon it. But for location's sake, is it best that they're around? I'll let you decide that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a part of the energy regardless. Mm-hmm. I'm not. Like that's kind of asking like, should I bring my whole SU pantheon out there with me?
Yeah, that's gonna be too much, man.
Exactly. So
yeah, everything.
You'll be straight, But any more questions you'd like to ask?
Should I do the snake sacrifice thing?
The 7 serpents?
Yeah.
This was already sitting here. This is 3 heads down, 1 head up. That's a maybe. In the case of a maybe, I have to roll again.
Oh, okay.
Landed on a maybe again. In the case of it landing on a maybe again, this is a yes. Okay. It's not an absolute yes, but nonetheless,
yeah,
a yes.
So it's probably going to open those gates.
Oh yeah, and I was being very moody or wordy in my head when I was asking the question. So I was asking the question from a high level occult's perspective. I'm being very wordy, trying to be theatrical even in my head because I'm imagining as I'm saying it like this Hollywood altar with these 7 serpents and the fire. It's just all around. I'm like, whoo, this shit seems like it's gonna do something good.
Oh my god.
So yeah, it gave a yes, or 2 maybes, which is a yes.
So where do you get your snacks from?
Shit, Snake Expos. When I see them come to town, or I'll go out to markets, flea markets and things of that nature, or I'll just have a connection with a farmer that might breed snakes. It really depends.
No.
To be honest, it really depends. If I'm trying to find like big, like 6 to 8 feet, 10 feet snakes, usually those are from expos, or even if I just want to get cheaper snakes, because I feel like people who aren't like sourcing them from like expos and reptile conventions, they're trying to, people who are in the know, they'll go to the conventions and then try to sell them on the street for double the price. I'm just giving you my experience. So I like to honestly keep up with like reptile shows and expos because that's where you're gonna get them for the wholesale price. But where do I get my snakes from? I keep it simple, I find them online.
There's pet stores too that sell.
There's pet stores, but 9 times out of 10 they have smaller snakes. I'm not looking for baby snakes. That's why I said like usually I'm trying to find somebody who either owns their snake outright, breeds snakes, or go to like an expo, because I'm a baby snake like this, that's not enough blood for me. I need something like stretching out to here, fat, chunky, and I know like if I ring it after I cut its fucking head off, there's gonna be a lot of blood circulating and a lot of blood upon that altar.
Well, the one that you got for that client, though, that was kind of a small one.
Which one?
The money spell that you did, it was like an orange white snake or something.
Oh my god. Here. You talking about something that's on my Instagram?
It might be. I don't know. I saw it when I was there.
You talking about in my shop?
Yeah. When I went there originally, there was a dead snake in one of the rooms.
There's no way that's okay. You said it was dead?
Yeah, because you cut its head off.
Oh,
yeah, and I took the shed. Yeah,
I remember now.
Yeah, I took the shed.
That was. It might have been skinny, but I'll show you something similar to what you're talking about. It might have been skinny, but it was long. Would you say they were about the same size?
Yeah.
Okay. Something about this long, give or take, is still 3 to 4 feet. And you can still get your fair share of blood out of something like this. But a baby, that's like, when I say a baby, I mean like this thin.
Yeah.
But it might be like maybe this length, but it's this thin. I'm not getting nothing blood-wise. I'd rather go get a chicken for all of that. You know, and they'll be selling snakes like that that'll be this thin, maybe this long, for $125.
Yeah.
Whereas if I go to an expo, I could get a snake from right here at my feet all the way here for the same price, and it's gonna be thick as hell and be low-key an adult that's like 4 years old. You know, so but yeah, that's my answer. But I'll say this: if you're on a budget, then I understand, you know, why you might want to get smaller snakes.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I understand why you might just I would say you're still gonna get the same amount of blood though. Because you're sacrificing 7.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's what I would say.
Yeah.
What's your next question though?
Okay, so no New Orleans. Is that what it said?
I said absolute no, but you need come back to. You can come back to asking that question once you do a spell to cleanse.
Okay, so how do I do a spell to cleanse? Like, what do I need to do?
Well, you're asking me.
Yeah.
Okay, keep it simple. For lack of better words.
Because I thought I did cleanse myself. I did a bathing thing, like uncross and all that. And
When you say bathing, what you did a spiritual bath?
yeah.
When?
It was.
I wouldn't
say like
even
a month ago or something.
I'll go as far as to say this. If it's saying that you need to do a cleansing in correspondence with that question, I'm connecting it to New Orleans, not necessarily to you.
All right.
So cleanse your connection with New Orleans and whatever type of negativity you harbor, or whatever negativity it harbors with you.
Oh. Okay.
So cleanse your connection, uncross your connection with that particular space.
Oh, okay.
Come back to ask that question again. If it's still a no, then you know it's a no.
Okay. Yeah.
So I would still do the same thing if you want to take a little spiritual bath. If you want to do a directed ritual for the removal and unhexing of any energy between you and New Orleans, or New Orleans and you, do that. and then come back to that question again.
Okay.
In regards to infernal spirits, I'm gonna tell you something right now. At this point, I'll give it to you to be very rigid in your direction of the casting of the perfect spell.
Yeah.
But I presently am doing more than just directing magic. I've become the magic.
Oh, yeah.
And I can convey this any way that I please. These spirits fall within salt, and I direct them any way that I please. I personally have not been told that I can't use salt in infernal rituals, and for what it's worth, I didn't even originally come into the practice of using salt originally.
Huh.
It was something that came after damn near almost 10 plus years into this, so that I was given the what's it called, the inspiration to even work with salt. And that's, by that time I was heavily already into goetic magic and coming into Kimbanda. So it's to each his own. I'm not gonna narc anybody.
No,
and
of course
how
not,
and
yeah.
how spirit, what's it called, tells them to do their process.
Yeah.
But I just know that it's just as much as it is just as rigid as it can be, is as rigid as somebody who's an ascended magi can, tweak the rules to fit their practice. But yeah, I can. How much would I charge? I'm talking too much.
Because it's just hard for me to get the snakes, and then I don't have a aquarium to put them in.
Them snakes, yo. Cause like I'm oh man, just 7 snakes. Okay, I'm gonna say
Would a big one work?
if you're trying to do it as that ritual intended, what's it called? Then no. But if you're trying to remix and be somewhat of a chaos magician about it, then I would say yes, because you're still willing to spill the adequate amount of blood. If I take it like this. My 8-foot cobra, or not cobra, boa that I had, was spilling more than any small amount of 7 serpents could. You see where I'm going?
Yeah.
So the 8-foot cobra is the equivalent of 7 small, or 7 mid-size.
Can you ask the shells if that would work?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is a maybe. 3 heads down, 1 head up. That's a maybe. Let me roll again. Am I fucking tripping? Wait. Where's the... What the fuck? Where's the 4th one?
Oh, it's right there.
You see it?
Yeah.
Wait, did I ever pick that up?
Yeah, you did.
So it just flew right there. Okay,
yeah, it just flew, yeah.
Alright. I thought I was tripping. This is a maybe again. So that's a yes. 3 heads down, 1 head up. So yes, it said yes. It said it would be an adequate substitute for the 7 serpents.
Okay.
What's the next question you have?
Should I move to the UK? Get the hell out of America?
Okay. Maybe. just one more time.
Oh. So are you supposed to have an extra geyser?
Extra what?
An extra shower.
Oh, that's just in case I ever misplace one. I know I need 4, just to go forward with the reading in general. I always keep a few extra around, just in case. You tend to lose them. They're so damn small. Okay. Absolute no.
Oh.
Forehead's down. Absolute no.
Oh.
If you want to ask this question again,
No.
You can. But once again, when it's absolute no, it's that a spiritual cleansing needs to be done. So come back to this question once you've done that. What's it called? What is even in your consciousness that has you even asking a question like that?
Well, I've actually always wanted to go to Burton.
Okay.
I don't really like the United States. I'm kind of fearful that I'll lose my health care because I'm on Social Security.
Okay.
So, am I going to lose my Social Security anytime soon?
Okay.
That's a what?
It was a maybe.
Oh, shit.
It's a maybe again. Which is a yes. That's a yes.
Oh,
so, I'm gonna be real with you. When you say Social Security, what do you mean?
I'm on disability.
Okay.
So.
Why do you have a fear that you'll lose it?
Because I'm working.
What, it'll catch up to you and you won't be able to finesse the system anymore? Okay.
Well, I mean, you're supposed to be able to work part-time, but I'm afraid that I might be making too much money now.
Okay. So you worried about the fact that you're making too much more money to the point that you could get certain things cut off because you're making more money, which is something that you do want to do?
Well, I want to keep my health care, though. That's the thing.
Okay. Keep going. I'm listening.
Yeah, because I have like medication and all that, and I do need, socialized health care, because private insurance, and the company that I work for doesn't even offer private insurance. That's the thing. So, because it's a contract, a security company.
So, what's it called? You said medication. What the hell are you talking about? You're healthy. What are you talking about?
I have mental health issues.
Mental health, how?
I'm on mood stabilizers.
You should get off all of that bullshit, but keep going. See, this is what I'm saying.
Things like that.
How are you trying to tap into your supreme? I know it might sound like I'm getting on you, but like, come on. For all of this, you could be going crazy about herbs and taking certain herbal concoctions that bring you out of those spaces. You could be taking ashwagandha, ginkgo biloba. There's so many concoctions that you could be making. You could be brewing burdock and certain what's it called, herbs that proliferate. Talking about depressants. If you haven't killed parasites in your intestines, but you're willing to take depressants, then what the hell are you talking about? Because that's how I was brought into Luciferianism.
Mm-hmm.
That keeping this temple, how these, when I talk about parasites, or rather worms, it's kind of like in my book. worms are interchangeable with serpents and dragons.
Yeah.
You know, how are you controlling the serpent and dragon within you? Because there's good and bad bacteria. So even if I'll like take it upon myself to be an alkaline vegan, that, for lack of better words, you know, eats a lot of alkaline foods to be more electrical and have more of a magnetic pull, and I'll take herbs, you know, that correspond with, you know, I guess you could say stimulating better functions within this temple. Like,
but what about oxalate poisoning? Because
oxalate, what the hell is that, yo?
it's something that all plants have, and some are higher than others, and it's actually.
Here we go. You're gonna have a debate with me about poisons from fucking plants compared to eating a dead animal.
Well, I
like,
mean,
get the hell out of here. I'm not like we could do it if you want to. I'm not here to proliferate the agenda of a vegan diet.
No,
but if you're telling me that if you're trying to present an argument where the natural poisons of eating a dead organism compared to the natural poisons of a live organism, and like, you know, oh, which one is better? Like, this dead animal's poisons are so much lighter than this live vegetables. Like, it's apples and oranges, and it doesn't even weigh up the same. Like, kale, okay, eating too much kale may have there may be poisonous aspects to kale, but it's still a great source of vitamin A, vitamin K, essential amino acids, lysine, aka it's definitely not going to breed parasites in your stomach. I know a dead chicken's going to do that. I know dead fish will. If anything, that kale is going to help stimulate your intestines. It's not going to feed parasites. If anything, it's going to make them really have a taste to want to get the fuck up out of your system. You know.
I lost my gallbladder because for years and years and years I ate spinach like just about every meal, and I thought I was doing a good thing, but it
I've
turns
heard the
out,
bad effects of spinach. I'm listening.
Cause look, okay, while spinach has iron, it's not hem iron. There's certain irons, and hem iron comes from meat, and that's the iron that we need the most. But it's the problem is it's got so much oxalates in it that it can cause gallstones, and so they had to emergency remove my gallbladder. And if I had known that spinach was so toxic, I wouldn't have eaten that much, honestly.
I've, in my vegan journey, have heard plenty of people speak about the bad and ill effects of spinach. When you take it upon yourself to be alkaline, spinach is actually not on the alkaline list. So, you know, I'll give you that.
Okay.
But nonetheless, you know, it doesn't take away from, like, even what I'm saying still. You made a point about poisons and certain things emitting off of things. I'm gonna be real. You know, I feel way better about eating a mango than eating some fucking mayonnaise with 50 ingredients on it. You know, so it's just like,
absolutely.
It's just I'll put it like this: it's about health consciousness. You know, if I can make a cookie at my house, like, and bake it, and it only has about maybe 5 to 6 ingredients compared to going to one of these local stores and reading the back of an ingredient list and seeing 30 different ingredients for one chocolate chip cookie, it's not just 30 plus ingredients for a chocolate chip cookie. It's 30 plus ingredients for non-vegan chocolate chip cookie. So it's just like,
yeah,
it's just like what's needed and what's not needed.
exactly.
A lot of this stuff is fake. A lot of this stuff, a lot of people are plastic people, you know, and they're consuming red dye number 40, monosodium glutamate, and every other bioengineered ingredient up underneath the sun.
Yeah.
And if I can choose to stay away from that, even if I wasn't vegan, before I was vegan, I was health conscious.
Yeah.
And then I became vegetarian, and then I became outright vegan.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't do this to feel better than anybody. It's just, at this point, it's going to be 11 years into veganism in August for me.
That's awesome.
And I don't see myself going back. And I've become a vegan chef now, so it's like, I know how to survive and thrive in this.
I wouldn't mind trying your food. I mean, I'm mostly plant-based, like, to be honest with you. I don't eat red meat. I just eat birds and fish.
Oh, okay.
But I eat mostly plant-based, too.
Check.
That's the thing. But I just don't think I can go vegan, like...
Well, it's not for everybody. I don't think everybody's DNA necessarily can all the way adapt to certain things.
Yeah.
I just know I don't want to eat that shit no more.
Yeah.
What's it called? But I'm open to any other questions.
Yeah, I mean, that's like one of the reasons why I was thinking about the UK was it seems like, you know, their food is much healthier too. It's not bioengineered like ours.
Yeah, they ban certain shit.
Yeah. So I just feel like I shouldn't even be American.
At this point, I feel the same way. More so, I don't feel like I don't want to be American or should be American. I feel like if I could get out of America, that's like a good. I mean, I see where this shit is going. Like, you know, it's going to hell in high water, and whatever idea of freedom that it had in the past, you know, don't tread on me, 1776, and even earlier dates before that. That shit is all but dead right now. So.
Oh, yeah, we're in the fall.
Yeah, this
in the
is
United States. Yeah.
Facts. The fall.
Yeah.
I just want to go to a place where there's just freedom again, like, and even if that freedom comes at the expense of like less security because they don't have, or wherever I would go doesn't have as great of an infrastructure as the U.S., at least I have that freedom though. You know, I'm not saying I want to move here, but it's like, you know, when you say, you know, you talk about third world countries in this country, third world country in another country, shit, man, regardless of how quote unquote dangerous it is, the freedom is everything.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You bring the American dollar to the Dominican Republic, or the fucking Bali, you get a great level of living, you know, and you get a great level of secrecy and, you know, just the ability to live kind of like high class for very cheap, and you still get your privacy, you still get your freedom, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, you know, you could still get away with just, I mean, we're becoming a totalitarian, like, technological dystopia.
Yeah.
So even committing a crime is, I'm not saying it's becoming impossible, but it's becoming more and more impossible. You know, I'm not saying that you want to commit a crime, but it's like,
well, if you live in California, it's very easy to steal. I mean,
I'm not saying they're not orchestrating a Mad Max scenario. You know, the Democrats are definitely doing that.
Yeah.
But like, I guess where I'm kind of coming from is that as much crime as we have the idea that they're letting go by, is just as much crime. Okay, I'll put it like this. they're giving people the option to be this lawless, so that when they bring the final clamp down,
Yeah.
it'll all be like, but look how bad it is. Y'all let it get this bad, so that y'all could come with that final clamp down. Like, you know, as bad as it is in New York and things of that nature. Now they have the National Guard in the subway system. So you let the problem get, so you orchestrate the problem, you let it get really bad, and then now, you know, and then you bring in the solution.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
so, you know, problem, reaction, solution.
Yep.
But I'm ready for your next question if you have any.
No.
You definitely send. Do you want to take a picture of this?
I took video of it.
Okay.
With my phone. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So.
Anything else you'd like to say right now?
Thanks for the reading.
Oh, definitely. Well, I'm happy that I was invited over and to just partake in just your energy and your space, because you've not got no low frequency going on in here. And
yeah, I mean, you can just kind of feel the energy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I could just really, to be honest, you know, sometimes, are you familiar with Dragon Ball?
Dragon Ball?
The anime.
Somewhat.
Okay. You remember the hyperbolic time chamber where they could go in it? They could go in it, and in the time chamber they could train for a year.
Oh,
a year
yeah.
would be one day.
Yeah.
That's how I look at these books.
Yeah.
I wish I could just go into one of those for maybe like 7 days.
Oh, yeah.
And just try to chop down, like, let's read.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?